Ladies and gentlemen, the future of women's combat sports and my niece's favorite fighter. The Falcon has landed here in the studio. Eman, how are you?
What's up? I'm good. You tell.
Good. It's like we were talking about before we went on the air. This is the first time we're meeting properly in a relaxed setting where we can have a conversation. And I'm not running around and you're not getting ready to kill someone since January.
It's been a minute.
How have you been?
There have been ups and downs. I feel like my expectations for this year did not match what actually happened, but it's good to keep a positive mindset.
Yeah.
And I have that, so it's good.
I mean, January was IMMF World Championships, and I think all of us from the Pakistani contingent came back thinking about, a lot of things. I think we all had a lot of things on our mind. And, just witnessing a tournament of that scale with, really talented, high-level fighters who aren't even pro yet.
Exactly.
From all over the world. I had a lot of takeaways that I'll get into in a bit, but the show's not about me. It's about you. So we're going to ask you your takeaways first. What did you take away from IMMF when you came back home about the level of competition or just, the world and MMA and where it's going? What were your major takeaways after IMMF?
I mean, it's no secret that MMA is blowing up in the world. And it's no secret that I got my ass handed to me at IMMF, which, it's fine.
Yeah.
Winning and losing feels exactly the same to me right now.
Sorry, I'm not going to cut you off more after this, but I just want to mention right now that you faced the second best female amateur flyweight in the world, Juliani Pierre, who ended up being a silver medalist. And also, do we need to go on about her credentials? She's BJJ, brown belt?
She got her brown belt right after IMMF.
Yeah, because she tapped out Eman Khan. That's how you get a brown belt. I'm kidding. But yeah, I mean, Juliani Pierre, she's definitely going to be in the UFC someday. She's that high level.
She's dating...
Caitlin Vera.
Caitlin Vera.
Yeah. Is that crazy?
So, I mean, naturally your level will go up. Dating, what is she? Ranked 13 or 12 or something?
She's an easy top 15 UFC flyweight any day of the world.
Yeah.
Any day of the week.
So,
Bantamweight, sorry.
Regardless of that, I think I came back just knowing my weaknesses, which was, it felt like everything for a while. It felt like, oh my God, going on to such a big international scale, it's really hard not to feel small, because you're seeing all these people who have very clearly kind of had a cultural advantage over you almost with their training, with the people around them, with having better facilities, with having more frequent competitions,
Yeah.
That. IMMF was my second time in a cage. Ever. And I just walked in.
Think about that,
yeah. Just think about that. Again, so that's, I think, another reason why I didn't really take it to heart that I lost. I'm glad that I lost, actually, because I'm like, hey, my cage work, it needs work. My grappling, wrestling, it needs work. Also, I need way more experience than I currently have. So this loss taught me much more than, winning could.
Yeah,
I feel.
I 100% agree. And one of the things that I also took away, and I'm sure you'll agree with this sentiment, is that we are eons behind right now as a community. And I think it's important to just accept that we as a Pakistani MMA fraternity so far has grown entirely 100% organic. You know what I mean? We're whole foods from the ground. You know what I mean? Farm
literally
to table.
Begging our way up.
Literally, we have worked our ass off as a community to organically grow where we are right now. But even then, you realize there's a big gap between Pakistan and the rest of the world. Like you were talking about before the podcast as well. Our government doesn't have a track to give a masters of sports in boxing or sambo like the Russian government does or the Kazakh government does.
If I'm not mistaken, I don't think any females went to the games, the Olympic Games that happened in the UK.
No.
For boxing, there were only Pakistani men who went.
Yeah.
I was and there were only, I think, men from the army. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm probably wrong, but only men from the army. And I'm like, oh, it's a track record that we have of preferring males and males from Air Force, Army, Navy.
and not just a preference in terms of like having them on the team, but also just putting in the resources to develop them.
Yeah.
So वो तो एक अलग बात है ना कि like we are behind the world with regards to like how far MMA is developed in our country versus how far it's developed. Like you said, governments don't support MMA here. Our government doesn't support MMA here, or the state infrastructure doesn't have anything in place to support any combat sports, let alone MMA here. But then when you talk about the bigger gap, it's not just in teaching, but it's also in like gender preference and gender treatment. It's massive. Like if you look at it, like we have female athletes that are incredible, but they have to fight twice, if not thrice as hard just to make it a spot in. That would piss you off, I'm sure.
Yeah, I feel like it is an amalgamation of a lot of things that are boiling in this cauldron and kind of pushing us back. Yeah. Not just as a female, it is that too, but just as an athlete in Pakistan who's not doing cricket.
Yeah.
I feel like our government and our people, they love cricket. Why not? It's a great sport, but also focus on...
Is it though?
I don't enjoy it that much, but the country does. Can you argue with an entire country?
I can try.
Yes. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, bro.
MMA is better than cricket.
Way better. I mean, it's a shorter sport. It's more exciting. There's more unexpected results. Sure, it can go to the last ball, but you have to sit through like 20 or 50 overs to get to that point. Exactly. And even then, it's like, you lose, you're just as pissed off. But in a fight, like you can see every second, like the Leon Edwards Kamaru fight recently.
Oh yeah.
Tell me you've seen anything more incredible in a sport ever.
It encapsulated the entire beauty of what MMA is.
Yeah.
You could be getting your ass handed to you, and it's just that 0.00001% chance.
It's beautiful.
That just changes everything.
It was one of those things which, like at think it was 10 in the morning. I was just like, I was falling asleep and out of sleep because it's a Kamaru fight. I'm kidding, I love it. But then all of a sudden I'm like,
it's okay. You don't have to lie. Nobody likes Kamaru.
But then literally I was just screaming at the top of my lungs. Like it was insane. But yeah, I mean, coming back to PAKMMA, I have to ask you, like you've been now an active participant in the scene for easily like 2 years now or more. But obviously like you like to stay in the Falcon's den. We'll talk about that in a second. It's called the Falcon's Nest? Den?
I don't even know at this point. It's called my garage.
We'll talk about your garage in a second. But what have you felt being around PAKMMA for the last 2 years? Like there's a lot of politics and BS and all of this. Like has it concerned you at any point? Have you taken note of it? Has it been a hindrance like it has for so many other fighters?
I feel like in terms of matchmaking, a little bit it has.
Mm-hmm.
When I've tried to get fights, and I remember in the last podcast I mentioned that I've been searching for a fight for like years.
Yeah.
But for some reason, coaches and their fighters would see that I train with Rizwan and like, fine, we do some like pretty funky stuff on Instagram also.
Yeah.
But like they see that kind of image of like a hardcore fighter or whatever you want to call it, and they don't want the matchup. Like I'm more than willing to go up in weight, drop down in weight, fight at flyweight.
Yeah.
But it seems that people kind of decline that opportunity a lot. And I've like had a lot of discussions with Rizwan, my coach, on this. And I'm like, bro, just get me a fight.
Yeah.
I don't care who it's with.
Yeah.
Like I'll literally fight anybody at this point.
Yeah.
And I think it's just a lack of opportunity. That's the biggest hindrance for me personally.
Yeah.
I try and stay away from politics and all of this because literally MMA is the greatest sport on this planet. And there will be politics regardless of like what happens. But kya karun, bro? Like I'm literally here and I'm like, I'm willing to fight anybody, like everybody.
Yeah, this is a public notice, by the way. Like
this is I'm gonna talk straight to the camera for a second. If you or anyone you know wants to fight me, I'll put my address, my garage address. You're more than welcome to come.
Get your ass handed to you. Then you leave.
I won't say that.
Yeah. And then she'll call you an Uber.
I might do it. I won't say that I'll do it. An Uber, God. God, no, I'm gonna drop you myself.
Just accept the fight. Yeah, drop. No, I got you. But also like, so from the outside looking in, for a lot of people might think, oh, there are no female fighters in Pakistan. Is that the truth? Apart from you, of course, and like three other women.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I think if you were to have asked me that like a year ago when we did this podcast, I might have answered that. But now I feel like I'm seeing a lot more women in that, maybe not that fighting circle quite just yet, but definitely the training scene.
Yeah.
I'm seeing so many women in like, say Karachi, for example, at K7, my gym, Carlton Gracie also, just women.
Yeah.
And it's great to see. Even my family members, they came to me and they were like, do you know Anita Karim? They were like, she just won a fight against the Australian, like right after her amazing win, by the way, if you guys haven't watched that, like for sure.
That was unbelievable.
It was crazy. They were like, yeah, she just won her fight. She's the first MMA fighter. I was like, yes. Like, hell yes. And it's great. Like, people are kind of, thanks to Anita Karim, like people like her also, there are more female fighters coming up. But there's a big skill gap.
Yeah. Okay.
There's it's not through a lack of wanting to be in that space or wanting to train and fight and stuff, but there are not a lot of, in my opinion, good coaches who want to like I love Rizwan as a coach. Like he, like in terms of promoting my skill level, in terms of pushing me to be a better fighter, a better athlete. He's definitely on the ball with it. Yeah. Like if I told him, hey, Verna Chandaropa came to Karachi for like a whole month. I trained with her. And I was like, hey, I'm going to go to this gym and train with her. He was like, okay, come back and tell me and let's like work through what you learned together. A lot of other coaches will be like, no, you can't go.
Yeah. That's toxic.
It's toxic.
It's so toxic. Yeah, it literally is.
It literally is. So that's another thing that I feel like the kind of ego that a coach has or can have. And even a fighter, like fighters also tend to have egos. Like I was telling you before, like I'm a nobody when it comes to fighting, in my opinion. But fine, I have a little bit of a following. It's growing on Instagram. Great. I'm happy for myself. But again, in terms of fighting and fight experience and fight IQ and this gap between my training and my fighting, like all of these things bring my ego down. And it's a good thing. Yeah. Like I would rather not have my ego like up here. Yeah. That would be so destructive to me as a person and a fighter. Yeah, for sure. And I see that with a lot of athletes. Yeah.
And I mean, so as a matchmaker for Warriors, it is always tough to find you an opponent because people don't want to fight. But we did find Samara, and Samara was very willing to fight, and I give her a lot of props for that. Like she was more than ready, and they were asking for that fight as well.
Okay, good.
That
excites me. See,
and Warriors 3, like that's the first match that already been made for Warriors 2, which hopefully happening in January. But yeah, walk me through what would have happened if you fought Samara Praveen. How do you think that fight would have gone? Or how do you think it's going to go now that you're going to fight her in January? Like with more months for her and for yourself to train.
Very interesting. I've thought about it a lot in my head. I pictured it a lot of different ways in my head also because I feel like, again, going back to the fact that my training has reached a certain level and my fighting experience needs to kind of catch up to that almost. So I feel like in my head, I have a lot of things that I can and will use. But it really depends on that moment. Like I truly believe that you can't replicate the fight game, right? Like you can spar as much as you want, you can train as much as you want, but like it's a test, right? God, I had a train of thought and I just lost it. 'Cause I'm like thinking about head kick KO, like takedown, all of that. I visualized it a lot, and I would like to use grappling, you know, mainly kind of to prove it to myself that, hey, this is where I faltered in the last my last MMA match. So this is something that I want to showcase in this match. I'm not going to say exactly what I'm going to do because that would be too much. Or hell, even if I do say it, I'd like to see her try and stop me. Like, you know,
No, I
have a lot of faith in my striking. I truly believe I'm the best female striker in Pakistan. There's no one who can match up to me with that. And that's all the more reason why I need to prove my grappling, because if I plan to fight again internationally, and I do, I need to be the best all-rounder fighter. I can't just be a striker. I can't just be a grappler. I have to be everything at once.
I think you did make that adjustment when you came back. I think you started training with Carlton Gracie, and
I did.
We had Alicia on the podcast. What a brilliant, like, you know, like just a jiu-jitsu mind. Honestly, he's so bulletproof when it comes to not just like training and jiu-jitsu and fighting and winning, but just his lifestyle, right? He roasted the hell out of me for the coffee. I gave him instant coffee, and since then I've been like, dude, we're never giving any athlete instant coffee, because apparently like he broke down what it does to you. It's food coloring and all that. And he's coming back on the podcast very soon, by the way. Like he's awesome. But yeah, I mean, what was it like going to Carlton Gracie and training there? And what's the environment like at Carlton Gracie? Like, I know there's a lot of like, you know, people there who come in and have the same like jiu-jitsu mindset, but do you feel like everything you learned at Carlton Gracie was something transferable over to MMA?
Yes and no. Like you said, Alicia has a brilliant, not just MMA mind, like his entire mind, just generally. Totally, it's brilliant. It's amazing with the way he, like, his routine when he wakes up in the morning, gets ready for jiu-jitsu, the day, you know, everything. It's just beautiful to watch. It's beautiful to watch him roll. It's literally like seeing a work of art. You know, honestly. Art in motion. What I love about Carlton Gracie is the women. I love seeing women in martial arts spaces, especially in Pakistan, because it's so hard to come by. So that kind of community of men and women, but mostly women there, that I get to roll with. Also, having that variety of people to roll with is really great. When it comes to MMA or like transference to MMA, I wouldn't say everything we learn there transfers over, but I cannot deny that you can... If you understand the techniques of jiu-jitsu and why you're doing what you're doing, which I feel like Alicia explains very well, you know, in his sessions, then there is transference over. But for example, if he's teaching like an ankle pick from like 10 feet away from the person, I don't think that would work. Maybe like as again 0.0 point, like, you know, a 1% chance. But I think most things would work if you know how to use them and why you're going to use them. You can't do anything without purpose, or without knowing why you're going to do it, right? You see, someone and I were just discussing, or like whenever we watch UFC, there's always one person who sticks to the game plan and the other person reacts to the person who's sticking to the game plan. And we notice that like quite often. And that's just it. You have to know the purpose of what you're doing and why the techniques you're drilling, like why you're basically doing them in a fight.
No, that makes sense. And interesting, like for me, what's most interesting is that I don't think it's disputed anymore that you are the best female amateur MMA fighter, the best female striker in the country, because you were able to take out the national wushu champion, I think, if I'm not wrong.
I think she was two-time.
Two-time national. Let's just be clear about it.
Two-time.
But you took her out, and I thought that was a brilliant fight, KO1. That was really fun to watch. Really?
Yeah.
You weren't impressed by your performance?
I was not impressed by my performance. Okay, in my head, I would rather give every single thing I have to a fight. Knowing that I used my kicks, I used my punches, I used like spinning back fists, I used like rolling thunders, I used takedowns, I used everything that I could in a fight, and I lost. Versus what happened in that fight, which it was not a bad fight.
Not at all, yeah.
But I didn't use a lot. I didn't do a lot. It gave me Rose and Carla Esparza.
What? Seriously?
Oh, okay. Minus the ego, you know. But I feel minus the ego. I didn't say I'm the best.
Oh man, that was tough to watch. Rose, really I love Rose.
I know. I loved her.
I still love her so much. Tug Rose, and that Daniel Cormier call like is one of the great. That Tug Rose, Tug Rose, dude. Anyway, yeah, no, not even close. Carla versus Rose was like one of the. Your fight was still so exciting to watch, at least from where I was sitting. I didn't watch the video back afterwards. When I was commentating, I was like, yo, this is a great fight.
I mean, okay, like a lot of people tell me that it was a great fight, and maybe like 5% I kind of believe them. But I feel like what hurts me is that I didn't do a lot, in my opinion. Like, fine, she was switching stances a lot. It kind of confused me a little bit. She was throwing spinning heel hooks. And that confused me a little bit. My Rizwan was like shouting at me saying like, you know, adjust, like do this. And it worked. I was really proud that I like dropped her in the third round. Yeah. Because that was just the most effortless thing that we were drilling. We've drilled this so much. So just to see that happen. But again, I feel like going back to the whole game plan versus reaction thing, I feel like I started reacting a little bit when I got confused with her stance switching, with her reverse heel hooks. And that's something that will only come with fight experience. So, you know, it's all of these things that are kind of pushing me to be like, hey, I need to fight more. Yeah. Because it's not that I don't have the skill. It's that I need to learn how to apply it better. Yeah. Not that I'm a bad fighter. Not that that fight was bad. But that I know I could have done much better.
Right. That makes a lot of sense. And we were talking about PAKMMA earlier and its faults and the things that are wrong with it. I think obviously the biggest thing, and this is true for every level, for a manager, for a promoter, for a ring announcer, for a fighter, for everyone, I feel like the MMA economy, and by economy, I don't just mean like financially, I mean even like for fighters to get better, for the MMA economy to get better, is for fighters to get better. For the MMA economy to like, you know, spring up, we just need one simple thing, which is more activity. Yeah. More fights, more fighters. That's it. I mean, I think it's exponential, our growth in terms of like the last maybe 3 years, because by 2018, 2019, there wasn't a lot happening, if I'm being completely honest. It was pretty stale. And then 2019 onwards, since Sarai Fight Night, really, like it's just been nonstop. And I know this firsthand because I've been at so many events. But even then, it doesn't feel like we're getting as many, or like not just like as many events. Like there's no one concentrated like effort to put the best versus the best in all cases, and you need that fight experience as a fighter. 100%. And not just you, I'm talking about like Sajid Karim Katoshi needs that fucking ring time, fucking you know, every other legit amateur or pro fighter for that reason needs to fight here as much as they can, so that the next time they're at a world level, that they're comfortable, that they know what's gonna happen. They know that
not in their second time ever in a cage,
literally
fighting a Brazilian silver medal,
like a BJJ like literal purple belt, like and to be a BJJ purple belt in Brazil is like, yo,
it's like you have to grapple with Caitlin Vera 8 hours a day
and sometimes at night.
And sometimes
like, no, for real, like it's insane like how big of a discrepancy that is. But you know, even that KO1 fight, like it like I'm happy to know that that's not your final form, you know, that
not even close.
But like it's what's impressive for me is that you've almost operated in a vacuum. And by that I mean, like, of course people go to clubs and they train there and stuff like that. How did you come about the decision of, I'm training in my garage, I'm not going to gym?
I think firstly, let me start off by saying it was the best thing I ever did. Be it a vacuum or not. I was going to K7 until like COVID shut down like gyms and facilities and everything. And then I remember calling Rizwan and I'm like, coming to my house. You're training at my house. And like I was doing semi-personal sessions before with like I think 2 other people. And after that I was like, I don't care. Like personal sessions, one-on-one. And that's when I feel like skyrocketed in my skill level because it was just one-on-one time with this coach who really just wants you to succeed, like genuinely wants you to succeed. So we literally started off with like just him and me training in our garage, and slowly I just kept on adding more equipment. I kept on adding, stuff for conditioning, like mats for jiu-jitsu and all of that. And then I started inviting people over, and not just friends or people that I had trained with before, but other people who went to other gyms, and it's just become a kind of space where now people can just come and train. I also coach people, when I'm not beating people up. Yeah. So it's just become this little space where people can come and train, and we can spar and we can roll and we can do all of this stuff kind of in the comfort of my home, my garage. Yeah. So it's like a comfortable space for everybody. Free from the shackles of any club. Yeah. So I like that. I like that it's separate from K7. I like that it's separate from, we're still affiliated with K7.
Of course, you represent them every fight.
Of course, yeah. But it's kind of slightly removed from that. Yeah. Because I have people from other gyms coming over and training, and I wish more people would come. Again, open call if anyone wants to come. Yeah. And train. I'm more than happy to train with.
Address is in the bio. Yeah. No, I'm kidding. It's not
like, subscribe. Please don't stalk me at my home.
Please, guys. Yeah.
I've got dogs. Wait, I don't know if that's a deterrent.
I was about to say like.
People would come for that.
She has dogs.
I have dogs. I have dogs. They're very cute, but they'll also bark.
Vicious, yeah.
They're viciously cute.
But yeah, so I mean, being separate from, and like you said, like there tends to be a sense of tribalism, and not to say that's the reason why you wanted to like have your own place, but I feel like that's one of the natural benefits of it, because a lot of clubs in Pakistan are very tribal. Whereas like most places in the world, if you think about it, like people go club to club just to learn like different things, and they kind of amalgamate it. It's almost like a completely different martial arts lifestyle that we're living here, where it's like, ye meri char diwarein hain, this is yours, and see you in the ring. I mean, I understand there's a competitive element as well, but I feel like the whole point of training at that level is that, okay, you can know what I know. Let's see you try it. You know what I mean? But with the Falcons Den, like, so you got Coach Rizwan in, obviously, and where was that? When was that point where you felt as if things were really starting to click? Like, not click just in terms of like, oh, my combos are getting smoother, but like, where you were like, maybe I am made for this. Like, I can fight at the highest level of the world.
It's been a process. It's been a process of little tweaks and big tweaks and injuries, and especially when you're grappling and doing like true like mixed martial arts, not just striking, not just doing jiu-jitsu or wrestling, but actually truly like combining all of them. You have all sorts of injuries every single week, and it's a mental game, if you believe that. And I've had ups and downs where I'm like, will this injury heal? Like it keeps happening over and over. Yeah. But luckily I have good people around me who kind of like help me like physically and mentally. But really I think it kind of depends on me as a person and a fighter. It's been a process of improving, getting scolded by coach, improving. Like for example, I tend to drop my hands sometimes.
As most fighters do.
Make notes. And I tell my coach, I'm like, if you see me dropping my hand left or right, whatever, just kind of whack me across the face. And I requested this, like he wouldn't like do it generally, and I'm just like, please do it, because in a fight, it's not like someone's gonna be like, oh, you're dropping a hand. Let me wait for you to. So So the first few times he smacked me, I felt that ringing in my ears, and I was like, "Why the fuck did you do that?" And I'm like, "Wait, I asked you to do that." And genuinely through that process, like I improved. Like it helped me. And then there were times, and now it's kind of like muscle memory, where if he does that, my hand comes up instinctively. Even if it's down, it'll come up.
Yeah.
You know, so it's these little things that you notice over time. I think before 2020, I wasn't making a lot of progress.
Yeah.
Maybe it was the group sessions. Maybe in my head, I didn't take it as seriously as I did after 2020.
Yeah.
And especially after ARY Warriors won, where I was like, yes, there was a high coming off that win.
Of course.
But I also had just started doing grappling like a month before the fight. And that's when I also fell in love with grappling. And I'm like, whoa, this is a whole new world. Excuse my beautiful thing.
It's amazing.
Thanks.
You got a choke, Warriors won. Were you expecting that? No.
Honestly, I saw several opportunities at different times.
In round 1 especially, right?
I was on her mount, I think, in round 2 only. And I saw an armbar. I saw another opportunity for an RNC. But, you know, it was a split-second thing where I did not have faith that I was going to get it.
Yeah.
You know, that I was like, maybe she'll slip out of this.
Yeah.
Maybe I won't get it. And then will I be deterred by that? Or will I... And, like, these thoughts are happening in the middle of the fight.
Yeah.
Like, you know, when I'm sitting literally on her and her hands are up and I'm like, armbar. And I'm like, oh my God, she's going to slip out of it.
Yeah.
And then we got out of that position. So I was like, fuck.
Yeah.
And I probably would have got it. Or I might have not got it. But it's like those little moments where you do doubt yourself. Those little moments. Yeah. And you kind of figure out it's natural. It's perfectly human, imperfectly human, let's say, to doubt yourself, to have those feelings of can I do it? Will I do it? Can I make it? You know, but it's what you do in those moments that really count. Like, you know, I could sit and say, hey, I wish I had started not MMA, but martial arts when I was 15 or 13 and I could sit and I could reminisce about all the times where I didn't do it, but I did it. I started it now. Yeah. Like, you know, some people consider it late, some people consider it, hey, you can maximize the time that you have, you know, while you have it. So it's kind of a mindset thing. Yeah.
And, you know, I think it's very important to like acknowledge your impact, so to speak, since Warriors won, because you know, it's very easy to like for a lot of people to be deterred by the fact that you just stated, which is that you didn't start at 13 or 15. And like we've talked about from the start of the podcast, there are people around the world that have probably started even sooner than that. Yeah. If I'm being honest, you know, like kids are thrown into wrestling class at 5, which is the best thing you can possibly do. Yeah, this is what you should be doing, because it should be learning hand-to-hand combat from a young age for multiple reasons. Like just it's so much better.
I personally, and I truly think that if a lot of the men and women that we see, the world is a bad place, dude.
Yeah, it's horrible.
It's a horrible place. And I think like if we're talking about like, say, the abuse of women that you're reading about so much, like it really hurts my heart to see Noor Muqaddam like cases, like copy paste, and these are like the stuff you see on the net and Instagram are like not even the complete story. I'm sure there's so many like honor killing cases and stuff. I truly wonder if women were built stronger than men physically. I'm talking physically, because everyone knows women are emotionally way stronger than men.
Way, man.
But if women were physically stronger than men, would we succumb to all of this violence that's happening towards us? And like these thoughts just prey on my mind quite a lot. I truly believe that if men and women were put in martial arts, like literally from the moment they can walk, it won't just teach us how to defend ourselves, but it'll also teach us how to respect other people. Yeah. And that's something that's lacking. I mean, worldwide, but especially in Pakistan.
No, I mean, cases like this have like they're just the tip of the iceberg. They're the cases that families and people related to these victims are still comfortable coming forward. Like there's so many cases that are just in the dark and people don't realize it. And between Camille Baloch and the Noor Muqaddam case and just every other case that springs up every other day, it becomes increasingly like worrisome that we would soon get desensitized to this, but at the same time we don't even know the full extent of what's going on. And I do like what you're saying about how women could definitely benefit from martial arts from a young age, but I also wish that these fuckers, like these stupid, ridiculous pieces of shit, sorry excuses of men, would be fucking put in martial arts classes at some point so that they're punched in the fucking face and they're humbled from a young age so that they know not to fucking transgress with someone else, because there's someone out there who can probably beat your ass and already has
100%
and has beat you to a fucking living pulp, shell of yourself, laying on the mat, sweaty, there's no idea what happened to you, hit by
100%.
a freight train of a fucking, rolling session or a sparring session. And that really is what's called character. You know how they say builds character? Yeah, this shit builds character.
Getting your ass beat builds character.
So please put your men in, or put your men
put your
men in the waste bin, ladies. Fuck them. No.
Eat them.
Kobe. But no, like literally, like if you have a son, obviously educate them and train them and all of that, but maybe put them in that situation where they're taught that there are consequences to their actions.
This is what I love about jiu-jitsu, because on the mats, it doesn't matter how heavy you are, how skinny you are, how experienced you are. Like, dude, I'm a white belt.
Yeah.
Like, I've rolled with Alicia, I've rolled with blue belts, I've rolled with other white belts, purple belts.
Yeah.
And I've gotten my ass handed to me. Like, there are days where I will go in feeling like shit and get my ass handed to me. There are days where I will be feeling great, get my ass handed to me, and vice versa, where I will hand the ass over
back,
to those who deserve it. Vengeance is sweet. But what I mean by that is you're equal. There's no one person better than the next. It doesn't matter who you are, where you come from, what you do in life, what your occupation is. On the mats, you're equal.
Yeah.
And I think it's one of the reasons why I fell in love with jiu-jitsu. And why, if there was one sport that I would, or activity that I would 100% promote, it would be like wrestling or jiu-jitsu. Because jiu-jitsu is like a chess match. Using your entire body, head to toe, you have to think about everything. It's the most meticulous sport I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, yeah.
You have to literally think 3-4 steps ahead of your opponent, because that person is A, trying to kill you, and B, thinking 4 to 5 steps ahead of you.
Yeah.
You have to think about every single ligament, bone structure in your body and how to use that against another person. And it, like you said, it just teaches respect.
Yeah.
Because you might kick someone's ass one day, but better believe you're going to get your ass handed to you one of these days. You know?
Yeah, for sure. And like, not to say this is the only thing that's going to fix problems of,
for sure,
gender inequality, but it's like one of those things that really does at least contribute towards that. And, and this is, of course, we're saying this from a very like myopic and selfish perspective as well, because we want more martial artists in this country, because, automatically like, we know that means there's going to be a lot of things different about Pakistani society, or even just not just from a competitive level, but just from a societal level. Like, there's more and more people who know how to defend themselves walking around. You don't fuck with people more. It's as simple as that. And also like just growing up in Pakistan, you realize this now. And Umar Ahmed and I were, sorry. Like, Umar Fasi.
Don't be sorry.
Umar Ahmed and I were talking about this the other day. But like, look at the way we've been raised, like as kids. And by that I mean, like, what was your diet, Eman? Like when you were 10, it was probably country pineapple juice. Or an average kid, right? Like maybe not you, but at least for where I was
given growth hormone.
These gains don't come by the number. Country pineapple juice, top pops, fucking jungle pops. This is what we fucking ate, drank all day just for sustenance. Like, thinking like, this is it. You know what I mean? And it's trash. I personally have until like a couple of years ago, I had no idea what I'm supposed to eat to be back. I'm eating an oatmeal chocolate chip cookie in the morning first. Okay, no, this is just today. But
I was literally given 2 parathas today. And they were like, why aren't you eating parathas?
Yeah.
I just wanted eggs.
Yeah, just a salad. I don't know.
I don't fully blame. I mean, yes, there is that one aspect of lack of awareness on health and what can improve. Like, I studied for that shit. Like, I'm still not very knowledgeable on it. I'm not gonna say that I'm an expert or anything, but I have better knowledge than I did a year ago, and 2 years ago, and I'm constantly trying to improve myself. Not a lot of people have that kind of health mindset, where it's not just diet but also exercise, and both of them work in tandem. But diet is super, super important, but it doesn't really work too well without exercise. But it's all of that information. Again, that said, I think it's also an issue with the system. Junk food is cheap. Junk food is super accessible. When you have to feed a family of like 5-6 people, McDonald's it's a good cheap option to feed everybody, and fill everybody up and do that, versus
or whatever fast food, like
McDonald's is sort of,
if McDonald's here is luxury food, just by the way. In Pakistan it's like
but still
fried chicks.
It's still like what I mean. What I mean is like junk food, fried food, fast food is still a cheaper, more accessible option. So I don't fully blame the people who don't have, like, we are literally the 1% of people who can afford our electrical bills, who can afford the water, who can, on top of that, we earn a salary, we can eat out, we can go to fancy restaurants once in a while, maybe. At least once in a while, right? That's still a privilege that not many people have. Like, we have cars, we have gas, like, we are literally the 1%. Everybody outside of Pakistan, outside of that, 1% lives in poverty or close to poverty. I don't blame them for going on that kick. They're just trying to feed themselves.
Yeah, I agree. My undergrad thesis was actually about Pelwani in Pakistan and the Akharas of Pakistan. And I obviously wanted to make an association to PAKMMA because that's what I was researching firsthand at that time, because that was when I had gone into the scene and I had done Sarai Fight Night. Then I went to Dera Eman Khan and I met Abdur Rahman, who was actually a Pelwan turned wrestler, like mat wrestler, South Asian Games silver medalist. He's incredible. Gold medalist, pardon me, not silver medalist. Gold medalist. It's just, and his story was amazing. He just went from the Akhara to the mats, 2 weeks, adjusted, won the nationals, got selected for South Asian Games.
Crazy.
And the reason I'm bringing this up is because traditionally in Pakistan, what my research indicated was parts of Pakistan where you would see Akharas. Akharas would not just bring a certain element to their immediate vicinity, but I'm talking about entire cities, towns, villages that would have more and more Akharas, would be living, eating much cleaner than, say, city centers. And what basically that implies, or where that comes from, is not just from the diet or the awareness. Obviously there's a big combat element as well, like you're fighting, you're staying fit, you need to eat better, but everything they would eat would come from the ground, right? And we're the 1%, yes, who have the knowledge and all of that to do that. But Omar Fassi's in the...
don't.
We don't, right?
We still don't.
Chocolate chip, oatmeal cookie in the morning. But Omar Fassi's in the 0.3%. This man's a vegan. Do you have any idea what he has to go through? A vegan in Pakistan?
That sounds... I'm really sorry.
Just quit, bro. Like, it's not working out for you. I'm sorry. But back to the Akharas. I feel like if we stuck more to our traditional roots in ways that it would benefit us, like if there were, like, imagine, Eman, you went to an Akhara when you were 5 years old. Like, you wouldn't be like world caliber fighter, but you would still be
a
beast, bro. And now in the amateur scene, there's a couple of guys who were traditional Pelwans transitioning to MMA. Bro, I've seen them fight.
Is it everything you hope for?
Bro, they're just like, they're brilliant. Like, just give them a couple of years, let them polish up that shit. Oh my God, you're gonna see them toss dudes around, Eman. I saw them fight at Proving Ground Series 1. And Hit Jim and Shaheen's doing Shaheen mostly is doing a great job bringing these guys from the Akaras to Shaheen, giving them a training. Khizr was one of those guys. It's just going to be so exciting. You know what I mean?
That sounds, I've got goosebumps.
I'm actually super excited. I actually wanted to ask you a lot about ARY Warriors, but I feel like we kind of moved past that. I want ARY Warriors 1.
We can go back.
Yeah, we're going to go back now.
Backtrack.
Warriors 1. Obviously nerves and all of that we talked about in the last podcast and what it felt like in that moment, but retrospectively, just how important was that event for you? Because I did that really like stamp in your head, all right, this is it, like this is what I'm doing, or was that already done? And if so, like getting to see yourself on TV fight after, because we did that interview right after the event. I don't think the show came out by that point, but then seeing yourself back. Yeah. What was that like? Seeing yourself on the big telly?
I hate seeing myself on the telly. I mean, it's really cool on one hand, but also I'm like, this is just me. It's a bit cringy for me, but like it's something that I'm just kind of, I have been kind of camera shy. So at that point, I was just like, ew, that's me. And I'm like, okay, I'm also beating someone up. Yeah. I feel like, I feel like as a person, I've floated around a lot in life. You know, I've gone from like art, psychology to art to business to coaching to fighting, and it's like it's a good thing, you know, but it's taken me a while to accept and also go against kind of cultural. By cultural, I mean like my parents and family and stuff, because they are my culture. Literally, you know, they've come from that mindset where you have to do one thing and one thing only until the day that you die. Yeah. And I feel like...
That's be a doctor.
Be an engineer. But I think I've also kind of changed that in their heads. Where I'm like, hey, I'm doing this thing. Oh my God. The other day we were coming back. We had just gotten off our flight. We were waiting for our luggage. I was with my mom and my sister. And my mom was introducing me to one of her friends, and she goes, yeah, this is my daughter. She's like a coach and an MMA fighter. And then she like turns to Miral, my sister, and she's like, and she's just a corporate. And I was like, God. I was like, just your sister and I were like,
just wrecked. Just wrecked. No, you're not just a corporate slave. You are way more than that.
You're way more than that.
You're amazing. Don't forget that. Don't let this MMA fighter tell you otherwise. Yeah, sorry, go
on. But like that's just that little shift where it's like she's this and she's also done this, and it's like great, you know. When it comes to the whole fighting game solidifying in my mind as my destiny, I think that definitely took hold like after ARY Warriors 1. I was pretty nervous. I was hyping myself up. I did at the same time also believe that yes, I'm gonna kick her ass, and it came to fruition. So that kind of solidified it in my mind a little bit. I'm glad also that right after that I did lose, because I feel like if I was on a winning streak, I would have loved it. Yeah. But also I needed to be, not just that, but like I needed to realize my weaknesses. I needed to realize that if I am serious about this game, and I need to know where I'm faltering. Right. You know? For sure. So it was definitely that. I think it's a learning process, and I love learning. I love being the dumbest person in the room. I don't want to be the smartest person in the room, like ever. I feel like that, if I think that ever, I've lost already. If I think I'm the most knowledgeable, most skillful in that room, I've lost. On one hand, I believe that I could win against anybody in Pakistan in striking. Yeah. That's different, you know. That's years of hard work, years of fighting my own demons, let's say, constantly in this battle of like, will I do it? Can I do it? I should do it. Let's just do it. Lying in bed saying, should I fucking train today? And just getting up anyway and saying, you're gonna train today. Yeah. You know, it's that difference that I see that I don't see other people doing. Yeah. Where it's like, So I have this, like, it's a little bit of a fear that I'm going to have a fight on the first day of my period. Yes, she said that word. She said the P word. Period.
Yeah.
Because any and all women out there listening to this know that the first couple of days of your period are the worst fucking thing on this planet. And I have this fear that I'm going to have a fight on the first or second day. So these days, or actually forever, whenever I am on the first day, I don't stop training. I don't even tell my coach. He gets pissed at me for this. But I'm just like, I keep training because one day it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have a fight on that day.
Yeah.
And if I'm not prepared, I'm gonna fall. I'm gonna fail. Not against the other fighter. I'm gonna fail against myself.
Yeah.
And the reason why I'm saying all of this seemingly irrelevant bullshit is that it's these small mindset changes and small mindset, not even shifts, but just kind of tuning into these parts of my brain that want me to switch off and kind of fighting that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna butcher this, but you know, there's that story of the two wolves that are inside you, and one of them is, I'm really gonna butcher this. Really stop things.
No, go for it.
But like, one of them is the wolf that wants you to like stop what you're doing and like fail, and the other wolf wants you to succeed, and it depends on which wolf. I'm really sorry.
Why are they wolves?
It's a story.
While Eman Googles this wolf story.
I'm really sorry. I'm just let's backtrack.
Yeah, so tell me about that wolf story. Yeah. You fought your inner demons. You listened to the wolf that told you to keep going.
Thanks. Thanks for summarizing that beautifully.
It's what I do.
When I couldn't do it.
Yeah, listen to the wolf that tells you to keep going.
Brain damage.
No, don't say that. That's not true.
Wear headgear when you're sparring, folks, because otherwise you're gonna turn out like this girl.
No, that's not true. And well, Warriors won. We've talked about that. Now let's talk about what I think most people have been waiting for. That's Warriors 2.
Yeah.
Walk me through that. Walk me through that drama. That must be the most painful couple of days, mentally and physically. I feel like
more so mentally than it was physically.
Yeah.
All right. So let's story time.
Yeah.
When did I reach? I reached on like a Thursday. No, or a Friday. I don't even remember. But I remember weigh-ins was on Saturday.
Yeah. You reached Thursday.
And yeah, Thursday. You're right. And I remember normally in my short-lived career, whenever I've wanted to give weight, I've always been under the 125-pound limit. Not by a lot. I've still been within my limit. I've always made weight.
Yeah.
But that day I woke up 125 pounds and I was like, like, it was the most excited I've ever been.
Yeah.
I like obviously hadn't eaten or drunk anything. I was on my way out to come to Brave and give my weight. Basically the house that I was staying at had 2 dogs. I think they've given away the dog in question.
Okay. That's good.
One was a Shih Tzu. The other was the German Shepherd. The German Shepherd.
The German Shepherd, yeah.
And on my way out, like basically when I had reached there on Thursday, the owner told me that this dog, who I had actually met last year at ARY Warriors 1, who was a bit like friendly but like low-key jungly, that he had basically turned into a guard dog.
Okay.
And I was like, I've had dogs my whole life. I know what that means. It means stay away from the dog.
Yeah.
Do not go close to the dog. Do not try and pet the dog. Do not be friends with the dog.
Yeah.
Guard dog equals like distance.
Don't fuck
distance.
With it. Yeah.
Not even through a wall. Like just keep your distance. So I was like, okay, cool, perfect. So flash forward to Saturday. I'm about to walk out of the house. She I feel like I'm gonna call her out so bad for this, but whatever. She sends her daughter out, like her little daughter out, to kind of hold this dog back, this big German Shepherd. Maybe it's my fault for believing a kid, but But she basically said, hey, it's okay to come out now. And I like popped my head out the main door because I was like waiting inside. And I didn't see the kid. I didn't see the dog. So again, maybe it was my stupidity, maybe not. But I kind of just walked out because I didn't see anybody, right? It was like 3-4 steps to the car.
Yeah.
I barely took a couple of steps out and this dog like bounds out behind a car, jumps for my face. That's why it's here, because I like defended myself. Thank you, MMA training. Can I just say, like, I've gotten so many comments, and I still get comments from people saying, why didn't you just punch the dog? Why didn't you just like hold the dog in a chokehold? And I'm just like, bro, my MMA training is what saved me.
Yeah.
Or like helped me react to not get my face bitten, you know? So I like protect my face. The dog kind of latches on, and you know how dogs kind of like shake their head? Yeah, I know. This is going to be a painful story.
Sorry.
Second thing, I don't fall to the ground. I go backwards into the door I just came out from. Back up into the door. I'm literally like protecting my main side.
Yeah.
I don't know how, like, I got bit in 4 places. So this was the worst one on my arm because he latched on. I don't know how the others happened. There's like one here. I can see that.
Yeah.
There's one like on my thigh. And the last one was on my ankle. So 4 places I got bit. This was the worst again because he latched on. I don't know how the other, like the 2 in between happened, because I was just like protecting myself, trying to open the door that wouldn't open. Like I was like, I literally just came out of this door. Why is it not fucking opening? Yeah. And I just remember he had reached my foot and he was like snapping at it. And at that point, I was trying to like kick him away. And I was like, I remember saying, "Koi bachao mujhe." And I like turned my head and there were like 2 men, like a guard and mulazim or whatever, standing there. And they were both like, just like staring at me.
Wow.
The kid was also like frozen, but I don't blame her.
Kid,
like she was a kid. But these 2 men were like staring at me. I was like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Save me.
Yeah.
So this dog reaches my ankle and I'm like trying to kick him away. And I feel like that angered him more because he started snapping at my Achilles. And I just keep thinking, if he had ruptured my Achilles, like I would have been out for 6 or 8 months.
Easily.
Maybe
forever. Because that's one of those things that
I feel like I don't agree with that forever thing. I think 6 or 8 months, because I know I would have put in the work to. Okay. Maybe I would have never been the same again. I've heard scary stories.
Yeah, no, because the Achilles is like one of those things which you don't want to.
It's a tough tendon to rupture. Yeah. And knowing like physio care in Pakistan, like it's just, you know. So I think about that a lot also. Like it was just, he was right there. So I think the fact that the dog's head was down, one guy got the gusto to come and like pull him away from me via his collar. And I just remember sitting down exactly where I was. I hadn't eaten anything. I hadn't drunk anything. I had pieces of my own flesh in my hand.
Oh God.
And I was like, what the fuck just happened? And I just remember like sitting in the car. And I was like, take me to an emergency room. I don't care where it is. Like, just go. And I almost fainted in the car. Thank God there was a bottle of water right there, because I was like, whoa. I drank that water, prevented myself from fainting, got to an emergency room, and I was like, I need a doctor. They were like, Baji, aapko upar jana hai. Literally, fuck you. So I get there. I get to the emergency room. There's no doctor there. There are only nurses. And I was just like, do something, dude, like please. They gave me like a painkiller and a tetanus shot. Also, it's just so funny, you know, there's this thing called bedside manner that doctors are supposed to use. Okay. You know, if you don't know what it is, it's basically, say I've come in with a nasty head wound, my head is open, a doctor is supposed to be like, yes, okay, we will have to perform surgery. It does not look good. Like the tone of voice, the mannerisms. Okay. What you are not supposed to do is you're not supposed to look at someone who's come in with like a trauma wound and go, ooh, that's bad. Which is like exactly what they did. Yeah. And I'm just like, what do you mean? What do you mean is bad? God. Bedside manner. to all doctors listening, practice it.
Yeah, please.
So they put like pyridine or something on it, injected me. Then they said, "Ab ghar jaakar patti utar ke pani se dho lena." And I was like, okay, so it must not be that bad then, right? If I can just wash it with water. Then I came, I gave my weight, I was on weight.
What
at that
a
point,
gangster, just by the way. Yeah. Sorry, go on.
At that point, I still thought that I could fight because I was like, hey, I have to just wash it with water, right? Like, it's clearly not that bad. I was also on like painkillers, so I was like, I don't really feel that bad. I go back to the hospital before wanting to come in for the media day and stuff like that. Yeah. Just to get my like patti changed, because I'm like, if I'm gonna be out all day, I don't want to just keep it open.
Yeah.
So I get back to the hospital, they take the patti off. Again, it's like one nurse from the morning. This is like 1 or 2 p.m. or something like that. So there's one nurse from the morning, another new nurse. He takes off my patti and he goes, yeah, you're gonna need stitches. I was like, I thought you don't stitch dog bites. He's like, yeah, but you're gonna need stitches. And I was like, fuck you.
Yeah.
Fuck you. Get me a doctor. I need a doctor, a surgeon, someone who is qualified.
Yeah.
Because clearly you nurses are not.
Yeah.
I was pissed in that moment because I was like, that means I cannot fight. Right?
If you get stitches.
If I get stitches.
That too on your tricep.
Like,
imagine
how do you...
clinching like a one body lock. You know what I mean?
God. So I waited for a doctor. The surgeon came in, said you're going to need, it's called debridement. It's basically where they cut dead flesh off of you. Because I don't know if you saw the pictures, but there was like, it was like hanging.
I woke up to them. Yeah, just by the way.
Good morning, Daddy.
Yeah, dude, literally Friday night, I was at Packages Mall at like 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. Just like getting the carpets installed and the walls erected and the generators and the ring and
you woke up the scrambled.
I got home at like 3:30 or 4. I was up till 5 because there was an issue with the generator as soon as I came back home, so I had to figure that out. Then I went to bed at like 5 and I had to wake up at like 9 or 10 again because I had to be there early. And it's okay. And like this is a regular on the mic. Creaking chairs is like a part of our MO, guys. But literally, I woke up at like 10 to Coach Rizwan's call, I think, which I didn't pick up. But then he left me a voice note. And then he was like, Daniel, I have bad news. And then that was the entire voice note. I was like, yo, what the hell are you doing, bro?
Coach does this. Coach goes 6th September and then he won't reply for 10 hours. I'm like, what's happening on 6th September? Am I fighting? Like, what's happening?
and then I was like, what's up? And then he told me you were in the hospital. And then he sends me this picture, which we won't show on this podcast because we don't want to get demonetized or, not like
you get paid?
Not like we're making any great money anyway, but and I woke up to that and I was just like, yo, it looked like, I don't want to describe what it looked like. It looked like the worst.
Let's just say I can't have chemo anymore.
Let's just say I didn't have chemo for at least like 3 months.
I still can't.
It hasn't even been 3 months. I guess I haven't had chemo. It looked disgusting.
It feels like it's been a year since that incident.
Yeah, it was. But sorry, that was just my perspective of what was going on. Then woke up and then, oh, great, another fight's canceled. Then we went to the gym. And sorry, but when we got to the gym and then you showed up, obviously I was just surprised that you were just walking around like, yo, what's up? You were drugged out. Like I could tell from the painkillers. Like I was like
walked in like, yeah, what's up?
Hey, what's up? I'm like, yo, I was like, all right, they've sedated you. Oh, that's great. And then I was like, I remember you were like debating with yourself almost and kind of with me about wanting to fight.
And
Coach Rizwan was just in the back like, yo, don't listen to her. She's fucking crazy. And that, Eman, to me, that moment is where I was like, this is one tough cookie. You know what I mean? Like, if you still want to fight after having your tricep physically ripped off of your bone and it looked like there were worms coming out of that little chunk of meat on your tricep, Bro,
Gross.
yeah.
It was gross.
Let's just say, like, I had a newfound respect for you that day because you still wanted to fight, and you were like telling
I still
Neza, yeah, and you were telling like Musa and Umar, like, and literally
I was literally thinking like maybe I can fight in southpaw, like maybe it would be easier to defend when I'm not orthodox. And I'm like, okay, if she takes me down, I'll just be like, no, don't touch that.
No, deny.
Deny. I'm like, I could still do it. I could do it with the arm tied behind. I'm like, it's a challenge. Let's do it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's a healthy mindset. I definitely don't recommend it. But that was my mindset at the time because I'm like, I've like worked really, really hard to get to this level. And for me, a fight is, like I mentioned, there is no equivalent to a fight.
Yeah.
No matter how much I spar, no matter how much I can train with everybody in Pakistan, but unless it's that like officiated cage match, like the environment you cannot replicate.
Oh yeah.
So the fact that was kind of taken away from me, it was like I didn't want to accept it.
Right.
Almost. And I remember getting tanas from my family, like, how could you want to fight? Your health is so important.
Yeah.
And they were not wrong. Like, I love you, mom and dad. Thanks for being up my butt always. But yeah.
Dude, if the promoter is like, Eman, Bajo, what are you doing? If the promoters come to that point, then yeah, I mean, it just speaks volumes to the warrior mindset. I think that's freaking awesome. There's a new segment on the podcast. There's a new segment on the podcast that I'm starting as of today. Okay. And this segment,
woohoo, I'm
first time ever. And we've gone way over time, by the way. It's like over an hour we've been talking. But
can you help it if we're enjoying?
Yes.
So much?
No, you can't. A and B, you're from Karachi, so we're gonna let this slide. I think it's perfect. And the producers is giving me the stank eye. Omar Fuzzy's just like, yo, dude. It's like for 1 hour, bro. But this is hand signals, by the way. Forget it. New segment on the mic's latest invention. It's called Questions from My Niece. Who is your biggest fan, by the way, like I mentioned. Shout out Hadia. I hope you're watching. I don't know why you're watching till the hour mark.
Thank you for thank you, Hadia. I appreciate you.
Yeah, I wanted her to meet you, but she's super shy, and I think that's adorable. And she wants to grow up to be just like you, which is awesome. Yeah, you're a role model for little girls. And these are the two questions she sent in. Right. The first one. All right. Can I practice my skills on my little brother?
I fully recommend it. 100%. Within a safe space, make sure an adult is watching you also. But teach him a thing or two.
Gotcha.
Show him how strong you are.
Yeah. She's 8, he's 6. Zed's got a good right straight, by the way. I've seen him throw that.
I think the fact that you have a brother, Hadia, like 100% means that you should. Remember, we were just talking about this earlier. Boys need to be brought down a peg, girls need to be brought up, mutual respect, all of that. This is a perfect example of how you can do that at 8 and 6. Yeah. So I would love to see your progress in a few years, and I would love to ask your brother how you're doing, how he's doing, and how you're doing.
All right. And her next question, and her last question, is what was your favorite subject in school?
Ooh, it has to be a tie between art and psychology. Like, I ended up doing art, so I guess I would have chosen that. Like, I love painting and doing all of that. I can't believe I'm promising this. I can make you a painting. God, I'm such a sap.
Dude, she would melt if you did that.
Yeah, I can send over a little something for her. Yeah. But I would have to say art.
Yeah. And do what your heart tells you to do, like in terms of subjects or careers.
Look
or
at me. I went from art, psychology, art, business, fighting.
And it works out.
Literally, you can make your own rules.
Yeah. So thank you for the questions, Hadia. And I'm going to keep asking all of our guests these questions from now on. You were the first. Congratulations. Yes. It only makes sense. Thanks, and I will make that meeting between you and Hadia happen someday. Yeah. For sure. One more thing I wanted to ask you about is this young man, very impressive. Very, very,
Is it you?
Yeah. No, hell no. Because the dude I'm about to talk about has done way more impressive things in a way shorter span is going to be representing Pakistan against India on the 8th of October in the one of the biggest Pakistan-India fights happening to date. And I'm talking about none other than, in my opinion, the best pure striker this country has produced so far. Sorry. I thought you were like...
I'm just so proud of him.
I didn't mean to make you emotional. I'm talking about Abdullah Chandio. Talk to me about it. Why is that a Chandio thing? Like,
no.
Oh, okay. It's like
a hype track.
Yeah. Talk to me about Chandio, Abdullah Chandio.
I remember seeing him as a kid when I had just started. Like, he was like a wee baby when I had just started in like 2018 at K7, and now he's like, he's like up there. I think he's. We call him the Israel Adesanya of Pakistan because I mean, kind of matches him height and also skill wise. Like he's cocky, but he can back it up. You know,
for sure.
Cocky without being able to back it up is just not a good combo. But I really hope he wins. I have the full confidence that he will. He is always getting better. He's always improving. I haven't sparred with him in a while, but I've seen him spar against everybody in the gym, and he just decimates guys.
Yeah.
And I'm super, super excited. Like, within Pakistan, he's made a really big name for himself. He's virtually undefeated, and I really hope that transfers over. This is his first international match also, and I have full confidence in him. You know, that he will. It's not even just like a Pakistan-India thing, but I just am biased obviously towards him because I've seen him grow up. I've seen his skills improve, and I'm just really, really happy that he's getting to go and train in Dubai. Like, fight aside, he's getting to go and train with these fighters, elite fighters, new coaches, everything, and just get that experience in also, because it's super important to kind of look at what he's done under the umbrella of K7 alone.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Like, that's just K7 and Rizwan.
Yeah.
Like, now if he gets other feedback, other information, like, he has so much potential. So just with K7, he's done like brilliantly.
Massively.
I'm so excited to see where his career takes him.
For sure. And you know, like when you guys are walking about, you guys, I mean the Karachi hometown, you know, boys and girls for KO1. When you walked out, when Natalia walked out, even when you walked out, both the Chandio brothers, anyone from K7 would walk out, that place would erupt. Like,
it was home ground.
And but even home ground, like, I've seen fighters in Lahore walk out to complete silence in Lahore. Like, it's the truth. Because beyond just like having a home ground advantage, it's also like having the visibility and the respect of your community. And I feel like you guys have definitely earned that. Where does Abdullah rank in terms of like training partners that you've trained with, or people that you've had the, you know, pleasure of getting to spar or getting to learn from, or whatever? You know,
he's there. He's number one. Like, I haven't. Even coach says that he ends up having a hard time. Trying to. Abdullah has really long limbs. It's really easy. It's virtually easier for him to keep range with a lot of his other opponents, including people who are, by the way, have the same measurements. Range wise, height wise as him. He's so good. Like, his IQ is just way up there. Honestly, I don't see any person in Karachi or Pakistan, at least, outranking him at this point.
100%. You know what
in
I want
striking.
to see? Yeah, you know what I want to see? I want to see Abdullah Chandio versus Haider Ali in a fight to the death kickboxing match. That's what I'd like to see.
Haider Ali would be decimated. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, that Warriors 1 BS was just like,
it's just so irrelevant.
It was so funny to me because like that whole thing was happening and they had like an entire platoon from Savat on the other side of the cage. And then it was like coach, I think Hazik was there, Abdullah, and you. Like, you just got
I didn't get in the cage. That was the only difference. I was like, Hazik, don't go. And Hazik was like, it was like very filmy. He was like, no. Even Ali was there also.
Ali was in the cage. I remember that. I think Ali was in the cage.
He must have been, because all of the boys.
There was 2 different fights. There was one right after the fight, and then there was one after the interview where Haider decided to try and flying kick coach during the interview. Because all coach said was, tum badtameez the, tum badtameez ho, tum badtameez rahoge.
It's not that he was. It's all facts.
I mean, it's not even an insult. It's like he's just giving his opinion about what you just did.
It wasn't even an opinion. It was like, it's a fact. You are being disrespectful.
Yeah.
Not even to Rizwan, but to the game itself.
Yeah.
You know, that thing's being like recorded and
Yeah.
televised.
Televised, biggest thing.
You can't act that way.
It's,
Again, martial
yeah.
arts is about respect.
Yeah.
Just because it's a no contest or you lose or you literally disqualify yourself,
Yeah.
you just threw a bitch fit.
The review committee overturned a disqualification, thank God, and they suspended him for a year.
Good.
But that suspension's up now, and I'm starting to think like,
There's some bad blood brewing.
John, you. It's a good fight, but yeah, no, I think that would be very interesting.
I agree.
And yeah, everything considered, all of the things we got talked about today. By the way, like, I love this podcast, so thank you so much for making the trip all the way from beautiful K-Town to toxic
Trash
Lahore.
City.
From Trash City to the most toxic place on earth. But yeah, I'm just super excited to see where your next step takes you,
Yeah.
what your next fight is, and you know how soon can we, are you ready to, when would you be ready to fight, like physically, with the whole
Is
injury?
tomorrow okay?
Well, I should ask your coach. He would
So, my doctor, the plastic surgeon who stitched me up, shout out Tahir Shafi.
shout out.
Best plastic surgeon in town, in case anyone
Yeah.
wants
Yeah.
is looking.
Anyone
He
else got some
basically-
dog bites to do with
I
you?
swear. But he stitched me up like really good. He said he gave me 6 to 8 weeks after the stitches were put in till I can. Basically, right now, I cannot have this area gripped or pulled. Basically, everything that comes with grappling. So striking, conditioning, I can do all of that. But my 8 weeks will be up like next week.
Cool.
So anytime after that.
Yeah.
I'm ready. I've been ready. I'm still ready. If you'd said there's a fight tomorrow, I'm just like, time and place.
Yeah.
Because honestly, I'm there. I just need opportunities.
Yeah.
Like, I have very little doubt at this point in time of my skill level, whether I win or lose. Literally, winning and losing feels exactly the same to me right now.
Right,
I'm like,
yeah.
5 seconds of happiness or 5 seconds of tears, and I move on.
Yeah.
Like, that's
Over it, yeah.
that's where I am at right now. I don't have a lot to lose.
Mm-hmm.
I am genuinely a nobody in this game right now, and I want to be somebody. So, again, it's an open call to any and all female fighters. I will go up in weight. I will drop down in weight.
Yeah.
Consider this an open challenge. I dare you. I dare all of you.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. And she's very serious. If you have,
I might be laughing, but I'm not joking.
yeah, and you contact Ali Aladita on Instagram, set it up, and you know, even if it's not an event, like, I'm sure, Eman, you would be open to entertaining a fight
Yeah.
in your backyard or K7 or wherever, really. Like,
Literally.
just give her a fight, damn it.
God damn it. Yeah, as long as they're judges there.
Yeah.
It's the important part.
Unbiased judges, yeah.
Yeah, unbiased.
That's also
Woo! That's the realest thing you said. But yeah,
yeah.
I'm ready.
Fair enough. And thank you again, Eman. The last segment of the podcast is almost
Almost here.
almost no, it's always the guest segment. And the guest segment is your segment where you get to talk about anything. You've done one of these before. You remember last time?
No.
On the Zoom, you said
Brain
some.
damage.
No, you said some really nice things last time.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Yeah, but I will give you like a couple of seconds to think about what you want to say. But the guest segment is a segment where you can get anything off your chest, anything you want to say. Say to the beautiful audience watching on the mic, who need to subscribe to the channel, by the way, or I'm gonna come for you. I'm gonna find you.
I'm gonna come for you also.
I'm gonna beat your ass. You understand me? Subscribe to the channel. No, I'm kidding. I wouldn't. But if there's somebody who owes you money, you know, if you owe somebody money, if there's a land dispute, a tax dispute, a property dispute, this is the time to settle it. Call their asses out on the podcast. This is your time, Eman. This is your segment. This is your moment. Are you ready?
Sure.
No. I said, are you ready?
Yes, I think so.
The Falcon, please take it away.
There's a lot of stuff I could say. I think I'll kind of repeat what I said last time also, by just saying women. Women. I'm addressing all the women out there who don't think that they're good enough or strong enough or don't have the talent or don't, maybe can't do this. You can. Like, it's don't sit and question it. Don't sit and think, should I go to the gym today? Don't sit and think, should I start eating healthier today? Just do it. Like, the more you sit and think about it, you're wasting time. It sounds harsh to say, but it's facts. Get to a gym. There's so many. DM me on Instagram. I'll give you a list of them. Like, there's so many good trainers, good gyms. Even if it's not a good gym, dude, just go and start. Like, just get out there. I'm really, really sick and tired of seeing, like, violence against women and, like, all these horror stories of my boyfriend beat me, my husband beat me, I'm scared of him, I can't talk to him, I can't, like, do all of this. Build some mental fortitude. Build some physical fortitude. I'm not saying it's entirely the women's fault, because that's just, it's ignorant to say that. 100% it's in most cases, it's the men who do this to women. Yeah. So I'm not addressing the men because lost cause. Yeah. But the women I can address who can actually, fortify themselves in some way, like, do it. Whether you want to be a fighter or not, just train. Strengthen yourself, your physical self, your mental self, emotional self. And don't take abuse, honestly. If you see red flags, talk to somebody. If your family's not supporting you, talk to me. Yeah. I'm more than willing to be a therapist. This is my phone. I'm on it a lot. I will talk to you. I'll do everything that I can. I really fucking hate seeing this shit, and I want it done.
Yeah. No, I think that's very important. I'm glad you say that. Thanks, Eman, for taking the step you took a couple of years ago to bring you to this point, because your impact has really, really led to so many, like we talked about, young girls like my niece who look up to you, but also just like so many women who are now being pushed past that limit, who I'm sure saw what you're doing and said, I can definitely do that as well. So thank you, Eman, for all of that. And thank you again for making the trip and being here.
I only came for you, man.
I appreciate you, man.
Sorry now.
Yeah, your friend's wedding. Screw that.
I only came with this podcast.
No, I appreciate you a lot. I'm glad we got to meet after all this
for
time.
sure.
And yeah, I'm sure I will see you here in the studio again at some point.
For sure.
Maybe whenever you're in Lahore next. Every single time you're here.
After
really.
a few fights. Let's do it.
Hell yeah. Thank you, Eman.
My pleasure.
And ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching to the end. Since you are here, make sure you like, share, subscribe.
Or I will get you.
Seriously. Leave a nice little comment down there. Tell us you enjoyed the podcast, or give us any feedback that you might have about the podcast, or, anything else in general. If you have an opinion which is, stupid, leave it there anyway. Somebody will roast you. It's okay. That's how we all learn. It's a self-correcting mechanism. And yeah, just support combat sports like we always ask you to. #SafeCombatSports. Every single fighter that that you think you can be a fan of, like this lady here, please go follow them. You know what I mean? Like, support their journeys. Make sure that you become invested in the sport so that it can give back to you in brilliant memories, the motivation that you have, and of course, just giving you pure, unbridled entertainment and violence. So thank you all again. This has been The Weigh-In. This has been the greatest damn executive producer in the game, Umar Fussy Bashir, watching over the cameras today for an hour and a half. I love you, bro. This has been the Falcon, Eman Khan, and this has been Daniel Nasir Mirza. And I ask you to please keep it tight. I'll see you next time.